Namaste. Namaste and welcome to this short practice for the Manipura chakra, that yellow one over there. We're going to work today with this energy at the center of the body, just about underneath the rib cage, above the navel, that kind of area. It's our body's inner sunshine space where we store energy and where we feel sometimes some of our challenging emotions as well. So where anger sits in the body a little bit, ego, but also our confidence and courage is there too. There's more information in the description underneath this video if you would like some more information on it. You can look. So today I've got the camera a lot closer to me than normal because we're not doing any standing up. This is a relatively gentle practice. So I want to make that caveat now, because when working with Manipura chakra, often the postures are strong to encourage that inner strength that we draw on from this point. But to begin with, we're going to lie down on our backs. So coming to lying down on your back, maybe having your feet on the floor, and just resting the feet relatively wide apart, backs of the hands or backs of the arms on the floor, lengthening the back of the neck down as well, and feeling your support from the floor underneath you. So allowing the body to rest down and feel that sense of held or grounded or connected with the mat and the floor. Take a moment to feel how you're feeling today, just noticing. Maybe take a few deeper breaths. And the breath especially is good for helping to stoke and stimulate our Manipura chakra, and deep breathing, particularly on days when you feel tired, fatigued, lethargic. Perhaps you feel a little like just sitting and not doing very much. Deep breathing can really help us to feel that ability to draw on our inner power, our energy center there. Maybe do a little bit more moving and shaking than we'd anticipated. So today we're going to begin by drawing the knees into the chest, holding them to begin with at least, and making circles with the knees. If you're inclined to bring your knees all the way together, that's okay. We can all start that way. Or if you prefer to having them apart, you can leave them apart. That's not a problem at all. So whichever variation you're doing, knees together is fine, knees apart is fine. Just making sure that you feel the stimulation in the back of the body from rocking around on the floor. And you can try doing some of the alternative position, or taking the knees different widths to find the effect. And you will get that stimulation of rolling around on the floor in different places depending on where your knees are in relation to each other. That was a very long-winded explanation, apologies. And we're going to reverse the direction, like massaging yourself. And you can feel as the knees come together towards the torso and then away, the thighs move in and out. That already has a stimulating effect on this Manipura chakra, this space underneath the ribcage. Or the space below the ribcage, I should say. Again, experimenting with taking the knees maybe further apart, closer together, as you choose. I always think of the Bob Marley song, Stir It Up, when I'm doing this. So if something like that comes to you, that's great too. And when you're ready, you can bring your knees back to the center and just hug them for a moment towards you and feel like you are almost containing that energy within. And then you can let the feet come to the floor one at a time. And we'll gently sway the knees from side to side. So again, here, it's quite good to be able to do this with your knees further apart to begin with. It's a little softer on the body for most of us. Want to feel some activation across the belly muscles to be able to offer their support from which the hips can move a little bit more freely with that centered space across the belly here. When you've done a few side to side with the knees apart, we're going to bring the knees closer together. And if you don't like working with the knees absolutely together, just a little closer is fine. But if you're working with the knees together, be sure to lift the opposite foot off the floor. When you move to the right, the left foot comes off the floor. When you move to the left, the right foot comes off the floor. And again, nice and firm across the center space to be able to offer support to the movement. You don't have to get anywhere. We're just moving and exploring. We're going to go through these movements all again to do fuller variations of them. So when you're ready, you can bring your knees back to the center. We're just going to separate the feet a little bit more, arms down by the sides for some rolling bridges. So pressing into the hands, pressing into the arms, pressing into the feet, lifting the hips, and then rolling the spine back down to the floor. Imagine you're peeling the hips up, then the low back, then the middle back, maybe up to that space between the shoulder blades, and then peeling the back down to the floor, the back of the body down. As you work, feel the engagement of the feet and the buttocks and the leg muscles, but also a little gentle lift across the belly. Just moving up and down. Perhaps you feel the movement becoming slightly larger or more expressive as you warm up, but it's okay to keep it much more subtle. There's no end game here. We're not trying to make a particular shape with the body. You're just exploring your own yoga, your own practice. This time, as you release the hips to the floor, allow the feet to lengthen, the legs, to lengthen along the floor. You can turn the palms open and just gently turn your head from side to side to release any effort across the center of the body, to release effort from the neck and shoulders as well. And I particularly enjoy stretching out the legs after that because I find I get tension in the hamstrings otherwise. When you're ready, you can gather your knees back into your chest. One at a time is good. And this time we're going to allow the knees to move without the hands for support. So you can start with your knees together, arms can rest down by the sides, engaging the belly muscles just a little bit more to move the knees around in a circle. So starting with them together or together-ish, and then moving in the opposite direction as well. And it's quite different doing this without the arms for support. You really have to engage those belly muscles a little bit more. When you're ready, you can separate the knees slightly and try doing that again, going in the first direction. Maybe you want to separate the knees a lot, that's okay. And then going in the opposite direction. And all of this is really stimulating this area across the center of the body. You can feel it behind the body, a little bit into the sides of the body as you move as well. And then taking your knees perhaps to a slightly further apart, if you want to, close together is fine too. We're going to move the knees in opposite directions, extending through one leg as you draw the opposite knee towards you, and then the other. The knees themselves are almost circling around the hip. And as you do that, you can really feel the engagement of the belly muscles and a little rock from one side to the other. Very good. Let's go the opposite way as well. I like doing this one pretty much every time I practice yoga, but it's not everyone's cup of tea. If you get too much clunking or clicking, just make your movement smaller. If you want to further enhance the stimulation of your Manipura chakra, extend your legs lower towards the ground, but make sure your low back stays on the ground as well. Very good. When you're ready, you can gather your knees in. And here, we're going to let the knees come more towards the hips and the feet away from the buttocks. So we have more of like a set of right angles from torso to hip, from torso to legs and from legs to knees. And we're going to engage across the belly and do little twist from side to side. So sway the knees from side to side. Try to keep the legs together, ankles together, feet together. And you're not looking to go into a full spinal twist here. We're just really using that effort and energy across the center of the body to control as we go from one side to the other. We don't want to pull or force or load the body in a way that is unhelpful. Oh, just had a nice big pop. Very good. And then coming back to center, drawing your knees in, feet down one at a time. Now we can do a little bit more of an expressive twist. So with the feet together, knees together, allow your knees to go all the way to your left side. And when they get there, see if that's comfortable. If you need something for support underneath the knees, perhaps a bolster or a brick, that can help. If you're comfortable here, you can simply relax your right shoulder down, turn to look over your right hand if that feels good in the neck, and just feel that space across the side of the body. If you're super comfortable here, you might extend your feet, your legs rather, so that your feet come towards your left hand into a full Jathara Parivriti, which is this revolving supine twist pose. And here, just taking a few deep breaths, softening, easing any tension. Feeling that space below the rib cage. It's contained on one side and opened on the other. And when you're ready to come out, you can bend your knees, or you may have been bent-kneed all of the time, and then gently engaging the belly muscles to bring the knees back to center. Rest the feet down. Take a moment to wriggle anything that needs wriggling. And I've realized I don't have quite enough space to go to the other side, so I'm going to do a little shimmy. Maybe you need to too. Then bringing the knees together, firm in the belly, let the knees come all the way down to the right. Lengthen your left shoulder down to the floor, perhaps looking to the left. Notice here if you need some support underneath the knees. If you do, extending the legs is unlikely to be a good option. But if you need some support, a bolster or a brick or a folded blanket, perfect. And then if you feel super comfortable in this twist, you might wish to extend your legs so that your feet come towards your right hand. And then still softening in that left shoulder, using a little awareness across the center of the body here, breathing deeply. Softening and releasing wherever you can. When you're ready, if you return your head to center first, bending the knees if they aren't already bent, and then just easing the body back to center. You can draw the knees into the chest if it feels good to do that. I like to do a little rock and roll here, wiggling, but holding on to my knees as well. Or perhaps a different movement would work better for you. And I'm going to scooch back onto my mat a little bit. So there is one final variation of this, which I think is useful for Manipura chakra, and it's a dynamic Jathara Parivriti. So for this, it's like a combination of the supine spinal twist and leg lifting as well. You can lengthen both legs, arms out to the side with the palms turned up, really firm in the belly muscles for this one. We're going to draw the thighs towards each other as well and press the low back down to the floor. Starting with your right heel pressed towards the mat, lengthen your left leg up, and then lengthen your left foot over to your right hand. Keep your left shoulder on the floor. Come back to the center, left leg up, and then releasing left leg down. This practice is not for every back, but if it works for you, then that's good. If it doesn't, just rest this one out. Press the left heel down. Inhale the right leg up. Exhale, foot over towards the left hand. Right shoulder stays on the floor. Inhaling back to center, exhaling down. Really firm across the belly all of the time. Inhale left, exhale, reach to the right. Inhale to center, exhale down. Inhale, right leg up. Exhale, reach to the left. Inhale to center and exhale down. Inhale, left leg up. Reach to the right as you exhale. Inhale up and exhale down. Inhale right. Exhale over. Inhale up and exhale down. One more to each side. Inhale, exhale, inhale and return. Inhale, exhale, inhale and return. Just resting there, taking a moment maybe to bend the knees a little, wriggle anything that needs wriggling. I quite like to reach arms and legs up to the ceiling and do some ankle or wrist rotations or both. This is nice with soft knees as well. So an alternative to this one, if you don't enjoy the twisting, particularly through the spine, can be a real challenge, is to do simple leg lifting, where you lift the left leg up, exhale the knee into the chest, pressing the right heel to the floor at the same time. Inhale, left leg up, exhale down. And the same thing on the other side. Inhale, right leg up, exhale, knee to chest, inhale up, and exhale down. And you can do that to each side where you bend the knee. And that's really nice for that Manipura chakra, because you get the strength, release and contain, lengthen and strength on the way down. So you get all of those options. And you can do this with straight leg lifts as well. Simple leg up and leg down, leg up and leg down. Going side to side, pressing the foot that's down into the floor as you raise the opposite leg, really firm across the belly. It's a great way to build up strength in the core of the body as well. So when you've done your leg raising or leg raising and twisting of choice, you can bring your knees into your chest, do a little bit more of that rolling and releasing. And that's really lovely after the leg raises. In class, we sometimes do double leg lifting. If you haven't been taught that, I don't recommend doing it under your own steam. There's a few nuances and tips to keep that as a really comfortable movement for the body. And in this gentle, gentle-ish practice, we won't use it. So for the next thing that we're going to do is a little bridge pose. So bringing the feet again back towards the buttocks, relatively wide apart. We're going to bring the elbows down to the sides so the palms face each other, and press the backs of the arms, elbows and shoulders into the floor to lift the chest and feel almost an opening of that space under the ribs before we start. Little gentle pressure down with the back of the head, and then press into the heels and the feet to lift the hips up and lower. So a little bit more bridgy than our previous bridge, firm in the buttocks, lifting into perhaps a slightly expanded bridge than your previous practice. And we'll go do two more like this, feeling that space underneath the rib cage, Last one coming up, holding this one if you can, going down and holding the next one if you need to, and hula hooping your bridge. And we do this for the sacral chakra as well, because it's really lovely for the hips, but you can feel what happens across that space under the rib cage as you move here too. And we're going the opposite way. Very good. Just a lovely wriggle for the whole torso. Smashing stuff. When you come to center this time, gently releasing all the way down, extending the legs so the backs of the legs are long on the mat. Maybe here, just rocking the feet from one side to the other, like you're waving with the soles of your feet, or resting with the palms away from the hands, away from the body, palms turned upwards. Take a moment to roll the head from one side to the other. We've only got one more thing left to do before we move from this position. Or this position of lying down. So you can bring the knees, bending the knees, feet on the floor again, arms wide, cross the right arm over the left arm and hold your shoulders or drape your fingers towards the floor. Let the weight of the arms be really heavy across the body. And I've just trapped my hair underneath the back of my head, but if you can, free your hair. Here, we're going to press into the feet, press the low back into the mat, firm the belly muscles, and draw the head and chest up off the floor, or head and shoulders up off the floor, and then make circles with the center of the chest. So we're just really using that space in the center of the body, under the rib cage, really energizing it, demanding quite a lot of it. The head and shoulders stay up. When you're ready, you can reverse your direction to go in the opposite direction. Breathe. Use those muscles. Try not to strain in your neck. And when you're ready, come to center, release all the way down. Keep your arms where they are and gently sway your nose a little from side to side. It doesn't go far here. We're not looking for a big neck turn, just a release of the back of the neck. And then release the arms wide. Maybe roll your head from one side to the other a little bit more. Fantastic stuff. So now we can do the same thing on the other side. Crossing the left arm over the right arm this time. Hold on, is that right? Yes, left arm over right arm. Draping the fingertips to the floor or holding onto the shoulders. And then pressing the feet, the tailbone and into the floor and engaging in the belly muscles. Draw your head and shoulders up. You can use eagle arms here if you want to, but I find that it's sometimes better without. So rolling in a circle, and you're stimulating the back of the rib cage. Can you feel that? As it presses into the floor as you roll around in a circle. So the chakra is not just at the front of the body. It goes through the whole body. When you're ready, reversing the motion to go the opposite way. Trying not to strain, but using those muscles in the center, using that energy, that power. And when you're ready, coming to center, releasing all the way down. Keep your arms where they are. Gently rock the nose from one side to the other. Just a little gentle sway, not a big movement. And when you're ready, release the arms wide and then roll your head from one side all the way to the other. Nice. They don't have to be big movements, but bigger movements. Very good. Super stuff. Now you can easily finish your practice here if you wanted to. But if you'd like to carry on, you can draw your knees into your chest, head towards your knees, and gently rock backwards and forwards through the length of the spine. Sitting bones to shoulder blades. And until you balance a little bit on your sitting bones, up to there a few times. Rocking back to balance. rocking back to balance. When you're ready, you can come into come up to sitting, and then just wrap the arms forward around the knees, chin to chest or nose towards the knees, and take a moment to feel the effect of your practice. Just let everything settle. Breathe against your thighs here. And then when you're ready, you can sit tall. So we've got a number of things to do here in our seated pose, and choosing a seat that works for you is good. So it might be cross-legged, right leg in front of the left, or it might be that you have the feet apart but on the floor, knees wider than the body just for a little support. These are really the best two options, but if you find as you're working that you are comfortable doing this kneeling, or if you prefer a different position, go for it. Any of the cross-leg positions will do, and you can prop yourself up on a support or a block as you choose. I've got this here for later, the bolsters for later in the practice. So we're going to start with the hands on the knees, sitting tall, finding that lift that comes from a really stable, grounded base. Little drawing in and up of the tummy muscles, and then gently swirling in a circle. Swirling in a circle, why not? We're just doing a few of these to feel that connection with the spine in a more upright position. We've got more room around us to move into. We're going to go the opposite way as well. Very good. And you can allow your head to move as part of your movement, your neck to be involved as well. Whenever you're ready, coming back to center. And here we're going to do the, why not the left arm, I think. So soft in the left elbow, and we'll start by making circles with this left arm. Doesn't need to be big, can start nice and small, sitting tall or kneeling tall, or sitting on a chair, whatever works for you. When you're ready, you can allow this movement to become a little bit more expressive. Perhaps the head moves, perhaps there's a turning of the shoulder and the chest. You can feel the torso waking up, that center of the body moving in a side bend, a back bend, a forward bend, a stretch, a twist. It's a lovely practice to do, to move the torso and to energize that center of the body. When you're ready, you can move in the opposite direction with your shoulder. Just gentle arm movements to begin with, and then in your own time, allow the rest of the body to respond. And you don't have to make massive movements, but if you feel that they're available, we've wriggled out quite a lot of tension on the floor already. So if you feel these movements are available to you, then you can really go with it. As long as you've got a little support in the center to feel that you've got somewhere safe to move from. One more in this direction. And then finish just by resting your arm down to your side, taking a moment to wriggle through the shoulders. And we'll do a little twisting while we're here. Oh, sorry, hair in the face. So sitting tall, reaching the arms wide, and then twist towards the right leg, taking the left hand to the right thigh and the right hand behind you. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. And then we'll unwind, twist to the opposite side, resting the right hand on the left thigh, the left hand behind you. Sit tall, deep breath in, deep breath out. Let's go to the opposite side. Unwinding, twist to the right. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. Unwind, twist to the left. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. unwind and relax the arms down to the side. Still with a little firmness in the belly, just gentle side bending, reaching to the right, reaching the left arm over, and then reaching to the left, reaching the right arm over. Just a little sway from side to side. If you want to, you can lift your opposite hip. And that is great when we're trying to free up the pelvis. And if you need to free the pelvis, then that might be the thing that works for you. But here, if you're able to keep your pelvis a little more still, maybe you don't make such an expressive or expansive movement, but the movement is more felt in this center part of the body. So find what works for you the best, going side to side. And then the next time you go to the left, reaching over and holding this position. So lifting in the center of the body, reaching over. We're going to roll the right shoulder back a little bit to open the chest, and then roll the right shoulder forward a bit, maybe bringing the elbow forward towards the left knee. Breathing in as you open, breathing out as you roll the opposite way. Left hand for support, firm in the belly muscles. Feel that space in the rib cage, the whole side of the body, but underneath the ribs as well. One more. And then as you come forward, reach the hands forward, pat them round to the center, and see if you can find a forward bend over your legs that feels good. Maybe a gentle sway from side to side. Try not to collapse the shoulders and head forward. We want the chest to be a little bit open, the shoulder blades working a touch as well, just to begin with. And then when you feel like you've got some space, perhaps you do want to lower yourself a little down, a little further down for a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Equally, you could keep yourself a little higher up for that deep breath in and out. Pat the hands back to center, and we're going to release the legs by leaning slightly backwards, opening the feet apart from each other and doing a little toddler wobble here. So we're balancing on the sit bones and just letting the legs be free. You can let the arms be free as well. You have to hold on across the center of your body. You can make any shapes that feel good, wobbling around on your buttocks. If it's too tough to do it with legs and hands, put your hands behind you and do your legs to begin with. And then you can put your feet down and do your arms. So you do both. You can do anything you like, as long as you feel you're able to hold in the center. And then when you're ready, you're going to sit crossing the left leg in front of the right if you are changing sides. So if not, just coming back to center, and then we'll do the whole thing again, but to the other side. So taking a few moments, finding sitting tall, absorbing the effect of your practice, noticing your breath, your heart, the spaces in the body that feel like they have been doing lots of work, or some work, making some effort, having some reaction. Then hands onto the knees and gently swaying yourself around in a circle. And here we're just doing a few, we're not doing too many, but finding that inner lift, maybe allowing your head to move with your spine. When you're ready, you can reverse the direction. And then again, when you're ready, you can bring yourself back to sitting upright. We'll soften the right elbow and then make nice circles with the left shoulder, left arm. When you feel that you have found your range of movement that suits you, you can allow the rest of the body to respond to that movement so that you move through the whole of the chest, the torso, maybe across the back and the front of the body, into the neck as well. And across the legs, notice where your weight is. A little firmness in your center as you move. Be as expressive as you desire. When you're ready, you can reverse that motion. You can go the opposite way, maybe make small circles to begin with, and then allow the rest of your body to respond. You don't need to be super expansive or expressive. Make a movement that feels good to you. One more. And then resting this arm down, noticing how the body feels. And then we'll do a little twisting here. So reaching the arms nice and wide, breathing in here. As you breathe out, twist to your left, take the right hand across the body, left hand behind you. And here, taking a full deep breath in and a deep breath out. Unwinding, going to the opposite side. Left hand to right thigh, right hand behind you, deep breath in. Deep breath out. Notice if it feels differently side to side and between this cross of the legs and the previous. Going to the left, deep breath in. Deep breath out. Unwinding, other side. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. One more time to each side. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. Sitting as tall as you can, shoulders nice and relaxed. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. Unwind back to the center, relax the arms down to the sides. Do a little side bending. So reaching the left arm up and over to the opposite side. See if it feels good, freeing the hips. I prefer going to the right, freeing my left hip here. I'm really doing it the other way around, but you know what I mean. And then see how it feels to keep the hips more still firm in that center space of the body. And then the next time you go to the right, leave your right hand down, reaching the left arm over, and just hold here as you breathe. Perhaps it feels good to simply lengthen into the left fingertips, or perhaps you would like to roll the left shoulder backwards to open your chest, and then roll the left shoulder forwards to bring the elbow towards the knee. Try breathing in as you open back, breathing out as you round. And we may be doing this again next week for heart chakra. It's a really lovely one to do for that as well. But for today, we're focused on that space underneath the rib cage, and you can really feel it moving and energized by this as well. Next time you come forward, reaching the left hand towards the right knee, and then padding the hands to the center so that you are over the center of your legs. Roll your shoulder blades down to open your chest. Gentle sway of the body from one side to the other. And then if you feel like you're making space, you can fold into that space. I don't feel like I've got as much space on this side, so I'm going to stay a little bit higher up, but perhaps relax my head, scoop the belly in. Breathe deeply wherever you get to, even if you're still moving from side to side. Nice deep breaths. When you're ready, you can pad your hands back towards you as you sit tall. We're going to free the legs again so that we can do that toddler wobble. So leaning back onto your hands a little bit if you need to bring yourself onto your sit bones. And you can move the legs and the arms in any way that feels good, holding on in the center enough to stabilize that movement, to let the limbs be free because you have that strong center to move from. do whatever feels good. If you want to put the feet down and move the arms on their own and the upper body, that's fine. If you want to put the hands down, move the legs on their own, go for that. Whenever you're ready, you can gather everything up so that you're sitting nicely in a little upright child's pose, and tuck your chin to your chest. Take a couple of deep breaths. And then there are so many things that we could do. I have so many things on my sheet, but I think that perhaps keeping this practice shorter rather than longer would be best. So we're going to do boat pose, Navasana. We've been preparing for it with all of our effort here. So in boat pose, you're going to hold onto the backs of the thighs, sit on your sit bones nice and tall, and relax your upper body away from your legs. So you create a nice V shape between the thighs and the torso. Firm in your belly, drawing the shoulder blades down. You can lift one foot, and this might be enough. You can lower and lift the other foot. You can feel the switching on of those muscles. If you'd like to, you can lift one foot and the other and draw the chest forward, using the hands for a little bit of support, breathing, lengthening through the back of the neck, taking that opportunity to feel strong. When you're ready, releasing the feet down and just taking a moment to come forward. So letting your feet come a little bit further away from your buttocks and just reaching forwards, maybe draping the body forwards if it feels good. Releasing the chin towards the chest. For those of you who are very open in the back of the body, who perhaps need a bit more of a forward fold, you can try a full Paschimottanasana here, or one with softened back knees, as you choose. Taking a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Gently going to bring ourselves upright again for another boat pose. So on the sit bones, you can hold the backs of the thighs if you like doing it that way. Release the upper body backwards, draw the shoulder blades towards each other to lift the chest, firm the belly, bring one foot up and then the other. And here, if you want to, release one hand and then the other. If this feels good, you can absolutely hold this. You can hold with the hands as you choose, balancing, lifting, engaging, opening, strengthening. If you want to, you can lengthen the legs. Ooh, becomes a little bit tougher then. And breathing. And when you're ready, you can gather your knees in, feet to the floor, drape yourself slightly forwards if that feels good. We're just about to do a back bend if that's what you feel that you need. So when you're ready, you can bring yourself upright. Take your hands behind your hips, fingertips pointing forwards or backwards, or even out to the sides if you want. But forwards or backwards is quite good. Draw the shoulder blades towards each other. Feel that lift in the center of the body. Feel the lift in the belly muscles. Point the toes down and lift the hips up. Maybe look slightly up and release down. So point toes down, hips up, engaging behind the body and release. And this time just holding as you come up, if you feel able to, pressing down into the hands, lifting the hips a little higher and releasing all the way down. From here, we're going to come onto our bellies. So just take a moment to nestle the Manipura chakra, the front of it, into the floor. So make a pillow out of your hands, toes towards each other, heels apart. The toes don't have to touch, they can be quite far apart. Just wiggle the hips from side to side and feel the body rocking over that space in the center of the abdomen. A few deep breaths here. We're going to do Salabhasana, a locust variation here. So bring your feet towards each other and reach your arms out. In front of you or out to the side is fine. Forehead to the floor
Then press the pubic bone down, engage your belly muscles, and as you inhale, lift your arms, legs, and head up at the same time. Feel like you're almost balancing on that center point just underneath the rib cage, lifting the legs a little higher if you can, breathing into that point that's on the floor, breathing in your bob. Whenever you're ready, releasing down, pillow out of the hands, toes towards each other, heels apart, a little wiggle of the hips from side to side. Then when you're ready, take your hands underneath your shoulders, come up onto your hands and knees, and if you feel like you would enjoy it, you can take a child's pose here. Knees closer together gets a little bit more contact and feedback with that Manipura chakra, but if it's not comfortable, knees apart, toes together, reaching the hands forward, or you can fold the arms underneath the head to provide a little support here for a deep breath in, and maybe sighing out through the mouth. Take as long as you need in your child's pose, and then when you're ready, you can come into an upright position, and we're going to do a little restorative pose with our bolsters. So if you don't have a bolster, a rolled blanket or towel, but maybe one or two together would help here, and that's going to give you enough lift. Lift is what we need. So if you need a little bit of extra lift, you might want to have an extra folded blanket or a block nearby, and you can put this underneath the end of your bolster to give it a bit more height. I should put mine to one side. So we're going to sit in deer pose. So the right leg in front, the right knee in front of the right hip with the shin across the body, not back towards the body, but away from the body. So a nice little sort of square angle in the knee there. And the same thing with the left leg out to the side. Sit as square into the center as you can and draw your bolster as close to your right hip as you can. And what we're going to do is twist towards the bolster. And so if twisting all the way to the side just doesn't feel comfortable, you can bring your bolster a little bit more forward so that you've got more of an angle to recline over. So we're twisting in the direction of right to the bolster, little firmness in the belly as you go, and then release your body over your bolster. Oh, doesn't that feel delicious? So we want the body to be really heavy here and really relaxed. And so you can let go of any effort in the belly muscles once you get down here. And for those who would like just that little bit extra, you can lengthen the left and right legs. So you come into more of a sort of scissors position. Now, if that feels like it increases the pull across your back or your knees or your hips in a way that's uncomfortable, soften the knees or the legs a little. And then just gently breathing. For those who have no problems with their necks, you might want to turn your head to the right. So you're looking behind your body. I'm not going to do that because I'm talking to the camera, but wherever you are, release your full weight downwards. Close your eyes and breathe deeply. Enjoy the surrender of effort, the softness of the face, the shoulders, and the belly muscles. You can stay here for up to 3 minutes, but now I'm going to swap to the other side so that I can keep the video relatively shortish. You know me. Bending the knees, firming the buttocks, firming the belly rather, pressing into the hands to come up to center.
And just take a moment perhaps to sit cross-legged or sit in a neutral position that feels good, so you can allow the body to settle away from this twist. It might be that you find lying down in Shavasana in between is useful, and you can simply turn yourself around to the opposite side. I'm just going to turn my bolster around to the opposite side. And when you come to the opposite side, the left knee in front of the left hip, the shin further away from the body, and the right knee out to the right side. It doesn't have to be directly to the side of the hip. I find it easier a little bit further forward. You want your bolster right up against your left hip, an extra support available underneath the head of it if it feels comfortable to do that. And then feeling that contained sense across your belly, just to move into the posture, turning to the left. Perhaps you bring your bolster slightly forward, turning to the left in a way that feels comfortable, releasing your body over the bolster, releasing your head to the bolster as well. So if it feels uncomfortable as you come in, perhaps lifting the bolster towards you with some extra support. If this feels really good, then you can extend your legs. And the legs don't have to be rigidly straight and long, although they can be if you want that for a moment, but then just softening the knees so that extended legs are relaxed as well. Really relaxing over your belly. It's been really active this class, so we want it to be the hanging out and Buddha belliness as much as feels good in this pose. And for those of you whose necks provide, who don't have any problems with the necks, you can turn your head to turn towards the left, look behind you, if that feels comfortable. I'm not going to do it because of talking, but if that feels comfortable, it's good. I actually don't think I would do it on this side because it doesn't feel so good on this side. Wherever you are, relax all your effort. Surrender your weight down into your support. Soften the whole body, the face, the belly. Breathe deeply, or more softly if you prefer, but consciously keeping your breath. Then whenever you're ready, and it might not be now, it might be a few minutes, but whenever you're ready, bending your knees, firming your belly muscles just a touch to bring yourself back up to center. Taking a neutral position, whether that be upstanding, or perhaps lying down. Lying down is really good. Allow your body to tell you how it's responded to those practices. Observe the effects. And right now is a great time to take some relaxation. Take the opportunity to adopt your relaxation posture of choice and rest for at least 7 minutes, maybe 10 or 15 if you can manage it. Allow your body to be heavy and relaxed. Hope you enjoy your relaxation. Thank you for joining me today. Namaste.